It was a night like most nights. Hot, dry, and with a low chance of rain. Ah, yes. A typical LA night. All was going well. Too well. I knew there had to be some toxicity somewhere, so I went to the cesspool of the internet to find something. And, oh boy, did I find something. Seems like some mugs got in a massive fight over a Sonic game again. As I walked among the broken beer bottles, I found what they were fighting over. It was not a 3D game, not even a spin-off, but an old classic, Sonic CD. After examining the scene, I knew I had to uncover why this all went down. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about the much loved and hated Sonic CD, and before I get into the video, just know that my opinions are my own, and I am not telling you or anyone else how to feel. Okay, got it? Good. With all that said, here are my 2 cents on Sonic CD. In my last video, I briefly mentioned how Sonic CD and Sonic 2 were being developed at the same time by separate teams. Sonic 2 was developed by a team in the US branch, and CD was by a team in Japan. The CD team had the original artist who made Sonic and Eggman, Naoto Oshima, leading the project for Sega's new add-on, the Mega CD/Sega CD. The two teams would often communicate with each other, and it's from this that the idea of time travel was brought up. While this was scrapped for Sonic 2, Oshima wanted to include it in CD, as the idea of levels changing while Sonic runs through them seemed like the coolest thing ever. However, unlike Sonic 2, not a lot is known about unused content for Sonic CD. We do know that it was originally just going to be an enhanced port of Sonic 1, as well as some concept art for cut bosses, but in terms of levels, there's not a lot. The only bit of info we have on a cut zone is one dubbed as R2. This was brought about by a video released in 2011 by Sega of Europe titled Sonic CD Dev Diary. In it, we see a rough sketch of a rainbow-colored waterfall. The taxman who helped make the 2011 port of CD has confirmed that piece was indeed for R2. He also released some sprites that were cut as well. The best glimpse we have into how this stage would have looked like comes from the extended outro of the game. This segment right here is speculated to be R2, as the robot at the end was an enemy in the level. And on the subject of this outro, can I just say I love the intro and outro animation for CD. Okay, the footage I'm showing you right now is of the HD port by Christian Ryhead, so it does look better than what it originally looked like, but come on, this is impressive. In any case, Sonic CD would release on September 23rd, 1993 in Japan, and November 19, 1993 in the US to worldwide acclaim, though some people in the US didn't really like their new soundtrack, but hey, at least we got Sonic Boom! So, we win, right? Right? The plot of Sonic games tend to be very simple, and this one is no exception. Eggman is back at it again, but instead of making another Death Egg, he has kidnapped a whole planet named Little Planet, and is planning to completely overtake it with his evil machines. So Sonic is gonna stop it, though it might not be so easy. There seems to be an evil robot Sonic that kidnapped this cute pink hedgehog. Wow, what a jerk. Oh yeah, and there's also some wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff going on. Okay, so the plot seems a little bit more than the evil dude is bad, go stop, but on the base level, that is what it is. Sure, there's some time travel stuff, but that doesn't really amount to a lot in the plot. It's more of a game mechanic than a plot device. So with that in mind, let's talk about the game of this game. Sonic CD is a bit different from the older classic Sonic games. You won't know just by looking at it for a second, but the level design as well as Sonic's moveset have made CD a bit of an oddity in the classic era. The biggest change to the level design was how expansive and vertical it is. Basically, this created levels that rewarded exploring but also offered multiple paths to reach the goal. It did mean that there was a noticeable lack of bottomless pits, but that's okay in my book. The best part of this design is how fun it is just going from stage to stage as fast as you can. Sonic even has a new move, the Super Peel Out, that lets him go off at full speed while his feet form this really cool figure 8. I mean, the spin dash is still here, but it doesn't control as it did in Sonic 2. In the original game, you had to wait for the spin to charge up, then go. You couldn't just stop when you wanted to, press down A, and then take off. This was later changed in the Christian Whitehead port, which is the port that I am playing for this video, by the way. Anyway, there is another reason why all these stages are structured like this, and it has to do with getting the good ending. Just like Sonic 1 and 2, there is a good ending, but you are not collecting Chaos Emeralds. Nope, this time you are collecting 7 time stones by going through a giant ring at the end of the stage when you have 50 rings or more. So we are sort of back to how Sonic 1 did it, and there's even no Super Sonic here. However, these special stages are not a pain to play. No joke, I love these. It will take some getting used to, but it's a fun challenge, and we get to see Sonic in a new perspective. In order to beat these, you must destroy all the UFOs under the time limit. While I will say there are some trial and error elements here, it is much more skill-based. Knowing how far you jump and controlling your speed is how you will win this. Plus, if you get low on time, then a UFO will pop up that will give you more time if you hit it. Overall, Sonic CD is a game that I will try to go for the good ending almost every time I play it, as long as I go and get the time stones. But let's say you don't want to get all the time stones. Well, there is another, more frustrating way to get a good ending. You see, every level has both a past, good future, and bad future version. You can go to either the past or future by spinning these yellow poles and reaching 88 miles per hour. It can be tricky, but there are often spots in the levels that are just so you can time travel. You just have to find them first. So why would you do this? Besides getting a new level design, color palette, and music, if you go into the past, you can find robot generators. There's one in each act, and if you destroy them all, you can get a good future and a good ending. And this is a pain to do without a guide. This is also why the level design is so expansive. They want you to go to the past of an act, find the generator, then beat the stage. Sometimes they are really easy to spot, but others just require that you know the level in and out. I can understand why people hate this part, but honestly, I see it as optional. There is a much better way to get the same ending. This does not mean I am giving the generators a pass, as the whole level design and game is sort of based around it, and it's in here where we start to see the divide among fans. The biggest point of debate here is the level design and, to an extent, the whole structure of Sonic CD. It looks like classic Sonic, but it doesn't feel like classic Sonic. Personally, I like the levels, I love the exploration, I just really love Sonic CD. And yes, it's not perfect. Some of the bosses could have been better, like this goddamn pinball one, but there are some cool designs for the bosses. So, is it a real Sonic game? I don't know, but I do know that I had a blast of a time playing it. It is quite a shame that the Sega CD never really caught on. I mean, it didn't really have the best library of games, so that wasn't helping it. Not saying it was awful, I mean, we did get Snatcher, but Sonic CD was seen as the only reason people would get the darn thing. But, as I said before, Sonic CD was still a success in their eyes. So now, Sega has 3 hits under their belt. It was time to make something bigger and better. It was time to make a Sonic 3. So with all that said, my name is Gumshoe, and thanks for watching.